Hello folks, here we are, another guitar building lesson. What I have here is two pieces of wood, and that's how they originally were, and then they were cut, a last cut down the center, and then we get a book match. Okay. I didn't go very deep on this topic last time, and I'm sorry about that, so I'll do it now. In the middle here, you notice how the pieces are, there's a gap in the middle, so what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to run the bottom of them on a jointer. Here's a jointer right there, and basically it'll make it level and flat. And then you do it with the same piece over here, and you try to do them the same amount so that your lines are going to look even on either side, and it gives it a even balance. Both sides will be exactly symmetrical, and sound wise, strength, it'll make a difference in the end. Now when you get the two where they're going to touch like that, notice how I've drawn a rough outline with one of my templates. From what, if you haven't seen one, I'll grab one off the wall here. Template. This isn't the one for this guitar, but you can get a rough idea of where it's going to be when you're finished building it. So by this time here, this is a real simple method here. You would get two pieces of hardwood. You would have some type of table that you can screw down onto. Now, see how I would put it at an angle? That's exaggerated. But here it's not as exaggerated. And then you would screw down these pieces, draw that line on the piece of wood, then cut this piece of wood, and on the other side you do the same. So what we're trying to achieve here is just a taper. So once we screw down this piece over here and this piece over here, these two will be going and getting forced in between them in a wedge situation till they start getting tighter and tighter together. Okay? Underneath, you always want to put waxed paper. I hope you can see that. Waxed paper. You just get it and you roll a roll of it out. And always stick it underneath, and then your top won't become part of your work table. Because don't ask me how I know this. Okay, anyway, you'll put a screw in here, a screw in there, and a screw in there. You know, one there, one there, one there. Then when you're forcing this in, make it so the edges are aligned. You get a block like this, and you'll be able to tap it with a hammer. Now, this here is a huge, heavy piece of maple. This baby weighs about 18 pounds or something like that. And you'll stick it on the top and put wax paper down so that the squeeze out from the glue isn't going to glue the maple block to your top. And what you're doing with that is you're just weighing it down, because once you start driving it into your wedge situation, the top might want to jump up because it's getting pressure put on it. So that block will weigh it down. And like I say, you get another block on the end and just tap it in till it tightens up. Don't overdo it, but you got to do it enough. Another thing too is when you get these two tops and you figure you have them flat, you get them and you hold them up to the light and you'll look through. And if you see a crack of light, then there's too much of a space and the sides, or the top is not going to glue together, okay, properly. You can't have a space in there. They've actually got to be touching. So they'll use a light behind it. Trick works really well, and you'll see the light come through the cracks if there's any. And at that point you have to keep jointing it and take your time. It's something that if you go too fast it's really easy to bugger it up. Now the lesson before this, I showed you how you sort of do your rosette hole, and so this is kind of, I missed the step of showing you how to put the top together. Sorry about that. That's what we got. Notice how the grain is quarter sawn so that it stands up perfectly, and a good way to have it is fairly tight in the center and then loosens up a little bit as it goes out to the edges, but never too wide of grain. Too wide a grain is not a good thing, but you want to, the best thing is variance from tight out to a loose, and nice and even variance. This is really nice wood here. This is Sitka spruce. I've got some cedar tops and all different types of tops. So okay, then you would go on to doing your rosette hole and following your plans. From the outline to the center of the hole is roughly 5 3/4 inches. Each instrument's going to vary depending on the plans. I always recommend build your first guitar with plans, and then you'll have an exact idea of what's going on. If you try to build it without plans, it's not going to sound as good as if you use plans, because if you use plans you can go nice and thin with all your wood, making it to resonate really well, and not go so thin that it's going to break into pieces. It's a fine line. Okay, next time.